Sophie Cunningham has finally broken her silence after her dramatic ejection from the game, where she stood up in defense of Caitlin Clark against the relentless bullying that's been plaguing the WNBA lately. The events surrounding this moment have sent shockwaves through the league, and fans everywhere are now looking at Sophie Cunningham in a new light. What really happened that led to this ejection? And what did Sophie have to say after the game? Let's break it all down, because this is one story that's got everyone talking. It all started during the highly anticipated matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Phoenix Mercury. Fans were buzzing even before tip-off, as Caitlin Clark's name has been at the center of the WNBA conversation since her debut. But this wasn't just about basketball. The tension in the air was obvious from the opening minutes. Ever since Clark entered the league, she's faced rough treatment from opponents, some calling it welcome to the WNBA moments, others calling it flat-out bullying. The so-called veterans of the league have been trying to send a message, using hard fouls, constant trash talk, and unnecessary roughness to rattle her. And during this game, it looked like things were about to boil over. Caitlin was doing what she does best, running the floor, draining threes, dishing out assists. The crowd was on their feet watching her every move. But right from the start, Phoenix players were clearly targeting her. Every time she drove to the hoop, she was getting hacked. Every screen she tried to run through, she was getting shoulder checked. And the refs? They were swallowing their whistles. Fans watching at home and in the arena started getting frustrated, and social media was blowing up. People couldn't believe how little protection Caitlin was getting from the officials. That's when Sophie Cunningham decided enough was enough. Known as one of the league's toughest players, Sophie has built a reputation as someone who doesn't back down. But she also plays the game with heart and integrity. And seeing her teammate and rising star Caitlin Clark take hit after hit without any calls, that didn't sit right with her. Midway through the third quarter, things finally reached a boiling point. Caitlin drove to the basket, only to get undercut and shoved midair by one of Phoenix's veterans. She went crashing to the floor. The crowd gasped, "No whistle." The Mercury players walked away as if nothing happened. Caitlin lay on the hardwood for a few moments before picking herself up, clearly shaken. Sophie, who had been watching this all game long, stormed over and confronted the player responsible. Words were exchanged, heated words. The refs rushed in to separate them, but Sophie wasn't backing down. And that's when the whistle blew, not for the foul on Caitlin, but for a technical on Sophie. The fans erupted in boos. How could the refs penalize the one player trying to stand up for her teammate? The situation quickly escalated. As the ref tried to restore order, Sophie kept making her point loud and clear. She wasn't going to let them ignore the bullying any longer. And for that, she was hit with a second technical and ejected from the game. As Sophie walked off the court to a standing ovation from the Fever crowd, it was clear that this was about more than one play. It was about the bigger issue of how Caitlin Clark has been treated since arriving in the league. The incident immediately made headlines. Clips of the ejection went viral within minutes. Social media was ablaze with support for Sophie. Fans were praising her bravery and leadership. Players from other teams even chimed in, applauding her for having Caitlin's back. But what really had everyone waiting was Sophie's post-game statement. After being ejected, she was unavailable for media interviews right away, which only fueled more speculation. Was she going to be fined? Suspended? What would the league say about all this? Well, the wait didn't last long. Later that night, Sophie took to social media to finally break her silence. In a heartfelt and unapologetic message, she made it clear exactly where she stood. "I will always stand up for my teammates," she wrote. "What we saw tonight wasn't basketball. Caitlin has earned her place in this league, and no one should have to deal with that kind of treatment on the court. If standing up for what's right gets me ejected, so be it. I'll do it again." That post immediately went viral, racking up tens of thousands of likes and retweets in just hours. Fans flooded the comments with messages of support. "You're a real one, Sophie," one wrote. Another added, "That's the kind of teammate every player needs." Even some league insiders began questioning whether the WNBA needed to take a hard look at how referees are handling the aggressive tactics being used against Clark. And it wasn't just online chatter. The story started making national headlines. Sports networks picked it up, debate shows weighed in, and former WNBA players praised Sophie's actions on air. The discussion quickly shifted to the bigger picture. Why has Caitlin been targeted so heavily, and why aren't the refs protecting her like they should? The league's image was taking a hit, and fans were demanding answers. The Indiana Fever organization also backed Sophie publicly. In a statement the following day, the team expressed full support for her actions, saying that protecting their players is a priority and they stand by Sophie's leadership. They also hinted that they would be addressing the issue with the league office. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark herself spoke about the incident when asked in the post-game press conference. "I appreciate Sophie so much," Caitlin said. "She's an incredible teammate. This league is physical, we all know that, but there's a line that shouldn't be crossed." Sophie standing up tonight meant a lot. It was clear that the moment had strengthened the bond between Clark and Cunningham, and it had won Cunningham even more fans around the league. Players from other teams continued to chime in with support over the following days. Some even admitted they wished they had done the same in previous games when Clark was being targeted. Now the league finds itself in the middle of a firestorm. Fans are demanding that the WNBA address the officiating and ensure young stars like Caitlin are protected. The league office issued a brief statement acknowledging that they are reviewing the incident and the officiating in that game. But many are calling that response too weak. They want action, not words. Sophie Cunningham's ejection may have been controversial, but it sparked an important conversation. It forced the league to confront the reality that bullying tactics have no place in the game, and it reminded everyone what leadership looks like. In an era where young stars are reshaping the WNBA's popularity, players like Sophie are showing that standing up for each other matters just as much as the points on the scoreboard. Whether the league takes meaningful steps remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure, Sophie Cunningham has earned massive respect from fans, players, and media alike. She broke her silence, stood firm in her convictions, and in doing so, became a symbol of what true sportsmanship looks like. The ripple effects from this moment are far from over. Expect more players to follow her lead and speak out. The league's next move will be critical. Will they rise to the occasion or let these issues continue unchecked? Time will tell. But thanks to Sophie's courage, the conversation is happening, and it's not going away anytime soon.